Hi, I'm Jules, a speech pathologist of 13 years. In this video, you're going to learn about the 5 different financial supports that are available for speech therapy and how to access those or investigate them a bit more. So these are the quite typical ones that I work with and have seen over the past decade. Obviously, these 2 are new, only come around in the last 2 years. So the first one is for young children. I love early intervention. I mostly work with very young children. It's called Ecei, and it is a division of the NDIA, the National Disability Insurance Agency. So with accessing Ecei, your child just needs to be between the ages of 0 and 6. So they could be still 6.5, but still be eligible for that age group. If your child is older, don't worry, I will get to that. But with Ecei, you contact NDIS. You can do that on their website. You can fill out you can go through on their website and click where your local area coordinator is. So they'll be the person that helps you fill out the forms. So accessing Ecei, what is that? It's early childhood, early intervention, and it basically is where the government has understood that early intervention is the best time to get support for children. So if you see your child struggling in an area, it could be eating, drinking, walking, talking, any developmental difficulties, you can have a discussion with them and see if you're eligible for a plan. So the plan will last for 12 months. So it's an allocated amount of money that's for 12 months, and you can use that as you need for speech therapy, physiotherapy, occupational therapy, psychology services, you name it. I mean, there are some restrictions there, so it does need to be a therapy resource for your child and yourself. And just be aware, it also includes yourself. So it is for educating purposes. Parents do need support as well, and I'm a big advocate of that. So just Google Ecei if you're interested in accessing that. Having doctor's reports or a speech pathology report is beneficial, okay, because that is evidence supporting that your child does need some supports and help, and it kind of breaks that down into language that the Ecei or NDIA will be able to understand and help when they're allocating funds. NDIS, National Disability Insurance Scheme. So that's for children who are typically 7 years and older. I mean, it's for adults as well, but we're talking about kids today. So NDIS do allocate packages as well for financial support so that you can access support, speech therapy, as I mentioned, all of the allied healths already previously mentioned, and others that I may not be familiar with. And with this, you will need a diagnosis for your child, whether it's from a pediatrician, psychologist, child psychologist, so that they can allocate those funds. For the earlier, younger children, diagnoses can be harder to come by, but it doesn't mean that your child doesn't need support. So that's why there's a little bit of a difference between Ecei and straight up NDIS, which is for the older children. Medicare, we all know Medicare. They have had this scheme for a long time. It used to be called Enhanced Primary Care. It's now called Chronic Disease Management. I don't know why. Don't have a disease if your child needs speech and language, but your GP will still use these forms, or one of them, to fill out. And what that does is when you go for assessment or therapy or any session, it will enable for 5 sessions to be rebated per calendar year at $55. I think it's like $55.10, but anyway, it's gone up pretty recently. So you do need to have a Medicare card, or your child does, and have a chat with your GP because they fill out this form. You will need one other allied health to kind of pair to access the CDM or the EPC, and that will typically be, for a lot of people, an audiologist, because the first thing a speech pathologist is going to say to you is have a hearing assessment. So just let your GP know you will be seeing an audiologist. Care allowance, this is through Centrelink. I think that's what it's still called. Actually, no, I think it's changed its name. I can't think of it right now. Service New South Wales or something. But anyway, so Care Allowance has also been around for a long time, and that is a fortnightly payment for a family who is caring for a child that has needs that are higher than the typical expected needs of a child. So you may be needing that extra money for therapies or for accessing, maybe purchasing more nappies or diapers or purchasing extra materials. Again, it's a little bit outside of my scope. I've only filled in carer allowance forms for speech and language, and that includes behavior. So if a parent really needs to be helping their safety awareness, if they're, showing impulses as moving away quickly from a parent, which can be really scary, and they may need extra supports and training and therapies to help. It's a team effort basically, and carer allowance does provide a little bit extra money for that. Again, a GP can fill out the carer allowance form, or a speech pathologist can. Private health insurance, check with your private health whether you have speech pathology cover. The typical numbers are 350, 360, 340, and 320. That's the high caps code, and it either corresponds to assessment or therapy, something speech pathology related, and you will need to ask your private health about that, how much you'll get back and per year and whatnot. But they're the basic funding sources. I will do a short video on key worker, accessing funding support through preschools or early intervention centres where the government does provide for that. So these ones are the ones that you can kind of get the ball rolling on, but I'll go through it in a different video about preschool centre fundings. I can hear my little one waking up, so I'll have to do that another day. I hope you found these helpful. Keep asking questions and I'll keep doing videos.